Hey guys! So it's Ida and Sarah, and today we were doing some baking.
And we're going to show you how you can make these.
And these. These are, I totally forget what they're even called, but they are Nutella stuffed cookies with hazelnut in them.
And these are, it's basically just like confetti cake mixed with icing and sprinkles together in a ball with some fruit gushers in the middle.
That's literally it. This was our first time making these, so we don't know how they're going to turn out. But we hope you guys will try them after we show you this video. We didn't really have another camera or a third person to video us actually baking and like preparing. So basically we are just going to tell you what we used and show you the after results after we put all the ingredients together. So we hope you guys will enjoy this video.
Okay, so for the hazelnut stuffed cookies, you're going to make the filling first. And for the filling, you will need
half a cup of hazelnut spread first. And for that, you can use just hazelnut chocolate spread, but we used a Nutella. But you can use a knockoff.
You don't have to actually get that, but just a hazelnut spread. You also need a 1/4 cup of chopped hazelnuts.
And half a cup of icing sugar or powdered sugar, kind of like the stuff on powdered donuts.
Yeah.
Similar to that. And so then you are going to have to mix all of that together to make a mix. Once you have that finished, you need to roll it into small balls. It says for about 24 cookies, but I mean, if you're not making 24 or you double the recipe, then you make it for as many as
you want / need.
Yeah. So we are going to do that, and we will show you what it is supposed to look like afterwards.
In a second. Let's go.
So we just finished the filling for the cookies, and it looks like that.
It doesn't look very appetizing, but it tastes good.
So now we are going to go roll them into the balls, and then we are going to tell you guys what you have to do next.
Okay, so we rolled them, and they look like this. They look kind of gross still, but...
So the recipe said that if we used what it called for, that it would make 24.
But what we found was...
we got 14 out of it.
And there was a lot of extra in the bottom that was mostly powdered sugar.
And the powdered sugar helps it not stick to your hands when you're balling them, and it helps them
not stick together either.
Yeah. So it made them easier to separate, but then there was also a lot in the bottom that was coated with powdered sugar so it wouldn't stick together. And the balls are supposed to be about 1 inch in diameter, so that's about 1 inch. And yeah, we have 14. So next we are going to make the outside part of the cookie that you are going to place your filling into. So next we're going to tell you what you need to make that. Okay, so now we mixed together, so now we got all of the ingredients for the actual cookie themselves that you're going to put your filling inside of. And what you need for that is 1 cup of sugar, which we have in this bowl.
Another 1/2 cup of your hazelnut spread, or if you use Nutella, then Nutella.
1/2 cup of butter, or margarine. We used margarine. It didn't really matter what you used.
Basically the same thing. 1 egg.
1.5 cups of flour. In this recipe, it's a gold medal flour, but just use whatever all-purpose flour you have in your house.
And in this bowl, we have mixed together 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. And
so,
if you're wondering why I was looking down, it's because I have a list right here.
So we are going to mix all of our ingredients together in a bowl, and then we are going to
show you what the result is.
Okay, so we just mixed together our batter for the outside of the cookies, and
it's very greasy.
It's very greasy because there's butter in it, and this is what it came out as. Sarah is actually hand mixing everything because it's so much easier to hand mix Nutella in with that stuff. So make sure you wash your hands before you get. Ooh, my hands like shiny out. It's gross. So we're doing that, and
then we're gonna put those on a pan.
And then we're going to have to place the filling inside of them and wrap it around them. So we're going to show you what that looks like
when we finish
after we get it done. And while Sarah was mixing this with her hands, I mixed together.
Well, she put it in the bowl.
Well, I put it in the bowl. We're also doing a second recipe. And the recipe that we're doing is gusher cake balls or something like that. I forget what it's called. For that, you needed 1 box of Betty Crocker super moist.
Well, it doesn't have to be
mix.
Betty Crocker, but it has to be like.
It has to be the rainbow bit cake.
Yeah.
That's on here. You also needed to mix in a thing of vanilla icing. We got Betty Crocker because the recipe is out of a Betty Crocker recipe book, but any vanilla icing will do. And I also went to the bulk barn and bought some sprinkles, and you need to mix in a cup of sprinkles with the mix. And Sarah just dropped them on the floor.
Once again, I'm hand mixing because
she's hand mixing, but I said we had to film this part right now. And this is what it looks like so far.
It looks disgusting, but like,
I don't know.
Once you bake the cake, you have to like crumble it up and then put it in a bowl. I think you forgot to mention that.
Yeah, so like we baked the cake before we even filmed the ingredients for the other recipe that we're doing as well. And you had
because it had to cool.
You had to crumble it up, and you had to let it cool first, and you had to crumble it up, and then mix in your icing and your sprinkles, and
we will also. I would just like to mention we will also have a list of the ingredients and all the directions for both of these recipes in the description.
If we can't find links to a page with the recipes that we have used, the exact recipe, we will type them up on the website notepad.cc, and we will put the links there so that you guys will be able to make these too. Since this video is not the greatest because we didn't have a third person to film us actually doing what we did, because both of us were running around the kitchen doing different things at the same time.
Okay, so we just rolled the cookies together, and they look like this. It's kind of hard to show.
The pan's kind of hot because I left it on top of my stove, and the oven was like heating, and for some reason the top of my stove gets like super hot. So I don't know. Got my oven mitts on.
And we made ours large, so they're probably going to stick together.
It was kind of hard to not make them large because the balls had to be like 1 inch diameter, your filling balls, and then you had to wrap your outside around them. And so,
but
we don't have to leave them in balls. You can't.
We don't have another pan to use, so otherwise we just do that. But if you're gonna do this, then I recommend you use 2 pans instead of 1.
And so now, after this, we are going to stick these in the oven, and these have to bake for 10 to 15 minutes on 375 Fahrenheit. Mm-hmm. And then, while those are baking, we are going to prepare the Gushers cake balls. So I think what we'll have to do for those, we need to use fruit gushers to put in the middle of the cake balls. So basically, you take one of those and you wrap the cake ball around it.
They're kind of the same thing, except this one's like chocolate, and then this one's just like candy inside of cake.
It said to use tropical ones, but I couldn't find just tropical ones when I was buying them, so they're gushing grape and tropical flavors. But if you don't like grape or you don't like tropical, you could get strawberry, mixed berry, whatever kind you
prefer. Or you could just pick out the ones out of this that you want.
And we are going to do those, and then we are going to show you what they look like before we do the next step of what you have to do with the Gushers cake balls.
Okay, so we just took the cake, icing, and sprinkles mixture, and we rolled it into balls, and then we stuck in 3 fruit gushers in each ball, and they look like this. They don't look very good, but that's just because
start rolling.
The cake
and okay.
They don't look very appetizing, but they taste good.
So the recipe also says that you are supposed to melt chocolate and then dip chocolate over them and then chill them so that
they harden.
The chocolate hardens. But we don't really want to do that because we think that they'd be better just like this.
But
So,
if you would like to melt the chocolate, you can do it.
Yeah.
It'll probably
We'll
still taste
also still include the step for the chocolate in the recipe so that if you guys want to do that, it'll be available for you. So we are waiting for the Nutella stuffed cookies, because I forget what they're actually called, to bake in the oven. Okay, so the Nutella stuffed cookies just come out of the oven, and this is what they look like.
good. Like we said, they got a little stuck together, but it's okay. Just
They
cut them
honestly literally look like boobs, but but that's okay. You're also supposed to melt chocolate chips and drizzle them over the top of this, and then drizzle chocolate over them, and then put pieces of hazelnut on top of them. But like,
That's a lot of chocolate. It's a lot of chocolate anyway, so that'd be a little
there's
too much.
literally like a cup and a half of Nutella through the whole cookie, so I think there's gonna be a lot of chocolate, just like we said on the other one. But when we link you guys to, when we type up and link to the recipes that we used, we are still going to include the
steps if you want to do that.
Yeah. I lost my words. So that'll still be an option for you guys if you guys would like to do that, but that's a lot of chocolate in our opinion. But that's about it for this cooking video. I hope you guys like the things that we made, and I hope you guys try them and like them yourselves. We haven't tried any of this before. We haven't even made these before. So this was kind of surprising how they turned out for us too. But that's it.
If you make any of them, make sure to show us and let us know how they taste.
Yeah, we'd like to see how they turned out for you guys. But that's about it for this video. So our links will be in the description below, and the links for the recipes will be down below. And if you like this video, we want you to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to us. And then if you guys have any suggestions on what we should bake, or any challenges we should do, or anything you'd like to see us do, comment below and tell us, and we'll try to do it. Bye!
Bye!